Hey guys, what's up? So I just got back from a little trip and I thought I'd tell you all about it. So this is my fall break. So with this semester abroad in London, we were given 10 days for holiday and we could basically do whatever we wanted. So I went on a trip with two of my friends, Ben and Emily, and we decided to go to Budapest, Hungary, Vienna, Austria, and Munich, Germany. Our trip started at 5 a.m. on November 1st, and we got into our car, headed to Stansted Airport, and off we were to Budapest. Now, I've only been to Europe once before London, and that was to Ireland, so Eastern Europe was kind of a new adventure for me, but I have to say, I didn't know what to expect, but Budapest was beautiful. We stayed in this woman's super spacious studio apartment in Budapest that we booked through Airbnb, and while in Budapest we did a lot. We did the thermal baths, which were relaxing and almost a little too relaxing. We saw Buda Castle, we went to St. Matthias's Cathedral, we saw Parliament, and we also went to the Great Market. But however, for me, maybe the most memorable thing in Budapest was on our very first night we decided to hike up the giant hill across the Danube from our apartment and go to the Citadel on top. But when I say hiked, I literally mean we hiked. Being in Budapest for only a couple of hours at that point, we ascended this giant hill with very little knowledge of the city, and we didn't really know what to expect, but when we got to the top, what a surprise, and what a great surprise it was. We intended to watch the sunset from the top of this mountain, but since it was a cloudy day, that kind of didn't go over well. But watching the lights in the city turn on was just so surreal, especially on this first night of this huge, memorable Euro trip with friends during college. It was just so surreal, and I just stopped, and I was winded as all get out, and I just remember standing there and just taking it all in, and it was just so beautiful. Looking down at the city, it was just so still, and I don't know, I just felt so infinite and unstoppable and just genuinely happy. And it's so funny how something so small as that can turn out to be so big in the long run. I don't know. It was very memorable, and it was definitely an amazing way to start the trip. Anyways, after Budapest, we hopped on a train, went to Vienna, and we stayed in another apartment, but this time 3 guys owned the apartment and we had our own room in it. And it was a wonderful apartment. It was beautiful, and the shower was just so nice. And to be honest, in Vienna, I think we had the lowest expectations, just because we didn't really know what to expect, but boy were we wrong. Like I said, we really didn't have a game plan for Vienna, but we saw so much, like Belvedere Castle, the Schönbrunn Castle, and we also celebrated my 20th birthday there. By the way, thank you to everyone who tweeted and commented and reached out to me wishing me a happy birthday. It really just made the day so special. Now, there were 2 things that really stood out to me from Vienna, and one of them was on the very first night, Mikey, Joseph, and Felix, the 3 guys who owned the apartment we were staying at, they invited us to go to their friend Jacob's apartment, and there we just pretty much chilled and drank, and it seems so simple, but it was just so great hanging out with these Viennese people who I had felt like I had known my entire life. And also, we rang in my birthday there at midnight.
I'm stretched.
Last.
Oh! Happy birthday!
I just thought it was so cool how people I had just met were so excited about my birthday, and they took us out afterwards, and we were out pretty late. They just took us around all these cool bars and whatnot, and yeah, it was just so memorable. Now, the second memorable thing from Vienna was probably the Prater, which is basically the big amusement park in Vienna, and oh man, for this we were all, to be a little honest, very hungover from my birthday celebrations, and we decided to go on the world's largest swings, which was probably not the best idea. It was such a shit show, but like the good kind where you kind of just end up crying from laughing so hard because it was just such an upsetting feeling. And it was already a really cold day, and we were just being whipped around way too high in the air, and it was freezing, and it was just, we got off the ride and all looked at each other and were just like crying from laughter of how awful we felt. But yeah, nonetheless, it was fun, and there were pretty cool views from the top of it, I've got to say. Definitely got a good sense of how big Vienna was. After Vienna, we got on another train to go to Salzburg, where we got on another train to go to Munich, which was our final stop of our fall break trip. And I was really pumped for Munich because I am German, so therefore I just was excited to see my homeland. Not really, because I was born in the United States, but you get the picture. We spent an entire day traveling from Vienna to Munich, which honestly I didn't mind because the European countryside is absolutely beautiful, and there are a ton of mountains, and if you don't know, I have a little bit of an obsession with mountains. We really had just 2 full days in Munich, and we had already 2 day trips planned, and so we didn't really get that great of a feel for the city, but the time we spent in the city, it was just really wonderful. We went to the Hofbrauhaus, where we drank an entire liter of beer, and I may or may not have taken the cup with me because I love taking cups, and I thought this would be a great souvenir. We also went to watch the Glockenspiel, which is a big clock in the Marienplatz, and we also just saw the beauty of Munich. It was just so beautiful. One of our day trips, which actually turned out to be more of a half-day trip, was to Dachau, the concentration camp during World War II and the Holocaust. Now, this was a very different kind of thing to be doing on a fun fall break trip, but I'm really glad we did it because it's just, besides the fact that it's so historically important, in high school we did the Diary of Anne Frank for one of our shows, and we just did such an immense amount of extensive research on the Holocaust and all of these concentration camps that it was just so, I don't even know, just walking through the gates, which translated work will set you free. It was just walking into another world. Time just stopped. It was like the Citadella in Budapest, but just completely different. Time froze, like you just walked into a whole nother dimension. It was such an incredibly eerie experience, and it was so weird thinking of how I was walking where people who were tortured, experimented on, killed once walked, and how they went there against their will and I was willingly visiting. I don't know, it was just very hard to comprehend, and the hardest part for me was definitely walking into the gas chambers, or what the Nazis referred to as the showers. I was walking around the crematorium, and obviously that was a very grim place, but I walked through this door into what I thought was a dark room, and I walk inside, I see a light shone on one wall, and I was like, what? Oh my god, I was speechless. It was just devastating. On our other day trip, we did something a little less heavy, and we went to Neuschwanstein Castle, which was about 2 hours out of Munich, and this was absolutely breathtaking. We hiked up the mountain and got a tour of the castle, and when my mom went a couple years ago with her family, she told me about this incredible iron bridge that you get an amazing view of the castle and the Bavarian countryside behind it. And when I was doing research for this trip, it said that the bridge was under construction and we couldn't go on it, so I was really bummed going into it. However, when we got there, our tour guide was like, oh, like there's a bridge that you can go on, but it's closed. Oh, there's people on it, so I guess like you can go on it. I almost wet my pants, I was so excited. So after the tour, we ran and went to the bridge, and it just was absolutely beautiful. I have no other way of describing it. It was just the most majestic, ethereal feeling standing on that bridge and just looking at this just natural beauty. Ben, Emily, and I all felt just so pumped up after seeing this from the bridge, and we just almost felt like we were on a high from nothing, just the beauty of where we were in the past 10 days. And when we were descending from the bridge, the clouds faded away from the top of the mountains, and all of the mountains and the snowy Alps showed, and I just got so excited. It was literally just the most optimal end to our trip. It was truly the perfect ending. Next day it was time to get back to reality, so we boarded our flight to London, and we had officially finished the most unforgettable, exhausting whirlwind of a trip that I like to call fall break. And after a long day of traveling, we had successfully finally gotten back to our rooms, and it felt so great. Hey guys, what's up? So I just got back from a little trip, and I thought I'd tell you all about it. I know it's been a while since I uploaded, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because this is what I was talking about when I wanted to put up much better quality of content, and hopefully you saw that, because that's what I worked for. And feel free to share this with your friends, and if you want to see daily vlogs from this fall break, the links are down below on my second channel. And I also just want to say thank you, because I don't say that enough, and I just appreciate all the love and support, and you guys are so willing to wait a couple of weeks so I can experiment with this new kind of idea that I'm having for my channel. So that really just means so much, and I will see you guys next video. Peace!